Happy Friday. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I'm Hillary Kennedy. I'm filling in for Sarah Gonzalez. And with me today on my Friday fun panel, Mr. Stu Begier.
I'm always fun, Hillary. Always.
That's why you're here. That's why we have you. And then Mr. Pat Gray.
Hello.
And Jeff Fisher.
Hillary.
Happy Friday, gentlemen. All right, so Stu, what is going to be your top story today?
Ilhan Omar. Dun, 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 dun. There's a new video going viral on the left, and it is going everywhere. This amazing response from Ilhan Omar from this biased question she's being asked in this conference she's hosting. It's amazing, and the truth behind it is even more amazing.
I can't wait to see that. All right, Pat?
The Earth was nearly destroyed yesterday, and nobody knows about it. So.
All right, I want to know why I should have been scared.
We're good. That might wait. Hold on.
We're good now.
This might be the lead, I think.
That we just barely missed complete annihilation. All right, and then Jeffy.
This is going to come as a surprise. But I want to talk about lunches, school lunches to be exact. But I do want to talk about some sort of food.
Stunning.
I'm intrigued. Okay. Well, first we want to thank our sponsor, realestateagentsitrust.com. And I know, Stu, you've had some experience with buying and selling homes.
Yes. Realestateagentsitrust.com is a great service because people just it's one of those things you don't think about. It's like, I want to pick the right house and I want to make sure everything goes right, but you don't think about the fact that the real estate agent that you're dealing with is in control of a lot of those things. A lot of times we wind up picking a real estate agent because we see their ad in a lot of places, which, I don't think that's necessarily the best way of doing it.
So the bus stop bench is not the best place.
Yeah, like if you see a homeless person sit up and then a face behind it, don't pick that person. That's maybe not.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, we could pick it for other things, Pat. I'm just saying real estate agent, maybe not.
Okay. All right.
Hugs. Great thing. So realestateagentsitrust.com kind of does the whole sifting process for you. Like they can narrow down the person who's the best fit in your area, someone who's really has a lot of success, knows the area, knows what they're doing, does this full time, is responsive, all the things that you need out of a real estate agent. And of course, is going to make sure all the paperwork is right and all that. Realestateagentsitrust.com is a great place to go to sort that all out.
I love it. Helps a lot of people. All right, so let's start with your top story. Ilhan Omar. It's been an Ilhan Omar week here at the Blaze.
Yeah.
She's given us plenty to talk about. So.
Yes. So I will say, first of all, if you did not see the Ilhan Omar special we did this week, go to, I think Glenn's YouTube page has it. If you're a BlazeTV subscriber, you can, of course, get that on demand whenever you want. But she had a moment that has gone viral from the site Now This. Now This is one of the, you know the end of Billy Madison where that speech happens and the guy comes out and he says, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. We're all dumber for having heard it. Like that's the type of content Now This specializes in, stuff that makes you dumber after you watch it. They are famous, for example, for making Beto famous. They were the ones that got his Colin Kaepernick rant to go viral. They do this all the time. They pick out these moments where it's like mic drop moments for the left is essentially their business plan. So they think this is a mic drop moment for the left. Ilhan Omar is at a conference, and we'll give you the details about this conference here in a moment, but watch, this is what America is sucking in. It starts off, and it says the title, and I don't know if the title's on this particular clip, so let me give you this because it's important. It says, watch Ilhan Omar respond to this biased question.
Right.
Watch.
Will you be able to make a statement against FGM because that's an issue in Detroit? It would be really powerful if the two Muslim congresswomen, yourself and Rashida, would make a statement on this issue. Thanks.
Your second question is an appalling question because I always feel like there are bills that we vote on, bills we sponsor, many statements we put out, and then we're in a panel like this and the question is posed, could you and Rashida do this? And it's like, how often should I make a schedule?
Yes.
Like, does this need to be on repeat every 5 minutes? And so I think, quite disgusted, really, to be honest, that as Muslim legislators, we are constantly being asked to waste our time speaking to issues that other people are not asked to speak to because the assumption exists is that we somehow support and are for, right? There is an assumption.
That's because you've said it.
So I want to make sure that the next time someone is in an audience and is looking at me and Rashida and Abdul and Sam, that they ask us the proper questions that they will probably ask any member of Congress or any legislator or any politician.
There you go. Powerful response to that. Now, if you didn't hear, FGM is female genital mutilation. Not a fun topic for a Friday, but it is for a couple of things. First of all, you don't ask Christian lawmakers about it because there's no
tenet of Christianity that believes in that.
Right. So you wouldn't ask about that.
Right.
That wouldn't make any sense. They certainly ask all the time about abortion and other things that Christians oppose. And
gay marriage.
Gay marriage. Gosh, that's not asked every single time a Christian gets on television.
Scandals in the Catholic Church. They're asked about that.
Exactly.
Over and over and over again.
I mean, we all know that Cory Gardner banned birth control, which he didn't do. But I mean, that was these things are asked about.
She's got to be a victim. She has to be the victim.
That is the prime time number one thing you need to know about the Squad. They are always victimized by everything. They're always the victim. But to step back a moment here, because it is this conference and what it was is vitally important. This is not just it's not like Meet the Press she's on right here being asked about female genital mutilation. She is at a Muslim conference that is set by Muslims and for Muslims. So it is a conference about Muslim issues that affect the Muslim community. Now, of course, in Somalia, where she is from, FGM is a majority of women are going through this. This is not like a small, tiny issue. It's a big, huge problem around the world. And she is, arguably in the top probably 20 most visible Muslims in the world right now. So, her making a statement about that is important. Now, has she, said that she opposes it before? I mean, I'm taking her at her word. I guess she has. I've never heard her say it before, but it's possible. Has she been, supported bills against it? Probably, if she's saying it. But I mean, I don't exactly just trust her at her word. If you watch the special, you might not have that same opinion. But even more importantly than that, the person asking the question, the biased question, is a Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the conference.
And it is a Muslim who runs an organization called, I think it's like Muslims for a Progressive Future. It's like a liberal Muslim. It's not even like some hateful conservative Muslim. This is a situation where it's about the community of Muslims. It is asked by a person who thinks that's an important thing and thinks legitimately, I think, that a stance by about that issue publicly by a prominent Muslim woman to say, hey, this is wrong and we need to do something about this, is not something she should get pissed at the questioner for. Don't you get pissed at the millions of women around the world who have to go through this? Aren't you pissed? I mean, not pissed at the women, but the pissed that they have to go through it. Aren't you angry at the fact that this is something that's actually injuring women and mutilating women all around the world? There's no anger for that. You're angry at another Muslim who's just asking you, please make a statement so I can show it to other Muslims and let them know that, hey, this is not some crazy opinion. Here's one of the most prominent Muslims in the world who believes it too.
That's what I thought was interesting, is it wasn't a gotcha question that you would respond in the way that she did. I mean, she was really just asking her, can you please just make a statement that you aren't for this, that you are against it? And I wonder if, like you said, if she has come out and definitively said, I'm against this, I'm doing what I can to eradicate it. If people keep asking, then it must mean she hasn't either said it enough or said it at all.
Well, I don't know, but what is she supposed to do? Put it on her calendar? Okay. Was she supposed to write it down? I think not. We're supposed to get a list of questions to ask her, the proper questions, the correct questions.
And look, today is Glenn's 10-year racist anniversary. If you happen to watch the radio show today, 10 years ago, it was actually Sunday, 10 years ago. Glenn on Fox and Friends called the president a racist. It's kind of a famous moment from Glenn's career, so we were busting on him about it today. But I mean, what world do you think you live in? Glenn Beck, for 10 years, has been asked about a throwaway comment he made on Fox and Friends.
Over and over.
They just ask you the same questions, Ilhan. You're going to have to get used to it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Start answering the questions about what happened with your immigration, your marriages, your tax fraud, your fraud with campaign finance. Start answering those questions when asked by mainstream media sources like the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Answer those questions, because those are going to keep getting asked too, I hope. Okay. Because they keep giving up on that one for some reason. But the idea that she's upset that people would ask her about an issue that is a massive issue for Muslims around the world. There are, this is hundreds of millions of people billions of people that are dealing with issues surrounding this. And, it is not out of line at all, to request a statement on this particular topic from someone who has authority.
Yeah, she's a refugee from not Idaho, Somalia.
Yes.
For a reason. There were some pretty bad policies there and some pretty bad things going on there, and many of them had to do with the background of the extremists, the people who have taken her religion to an extreme, and that's one of the reasons, maybe the reason, she fled that country. So it's not like that's outrageous to bring up, and there's no reason for Christians to address it because Christians don't have anything to do with it. But,
how do you feel about this Muslim tradition? I don't know.
I'm
what is
against it.
Yeah, it sounds bad. But the funny thing is, if you asked Mike Pence, hey, what do you think about this Muslim tradition? And he said, I think it's a bad idea. They'd be like, look at this.
Yeah.
It's the culture.
Racist.
This racist won't even accept
Islamophobe.
cultures. I mean, this is what the Trump administration is. Really, that's what you'd get.
Well, all right. I'm going to move on to our next topic.
Oh, well, I think the fact that the world's going to blow up is probably
I thought I thought this is what we should definitely talk about. So we all almost were completely taken off the planet, but nobody noticed.
We had a really close call yesterday with a asteroid that just passed us. But it was 56 feet by 128 feet. So it was not like. It probably wouldn't have ended the world.
It wasn't a global killer.
It would have some really terrible regional problems. Depending on where it landed, it could have been really bad tsunamis. It could have taken thousands, tens of thousands of lives. And we found out about it yesterday after it passed us by. The problem is we had no idea it was coming. And that's kind of a scary thing to me.
Well,
I mean,
Pat. To quote the documentary
Armageddon, yes.
It's a big-ass guy, okay?
It's a big-ass guy.
Okay, so...
It is, and there's a lot of things in it, right?
Correct.
But the ones that are hurtling toward us, I want to know about. I don't care how big this guy is.
Is that the issue? Is it too small, essentially, for them to detect easily?
No, the issue was that they
don't see it. It's too big.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too much ground to cover.
And it was big enough. It was big enough to spot. They just didn't. And it came 46,000 miles from the Earth. Now, they call a near miss like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million miles.
46,000
is a near miss.
miles is
46,000.
Pretty close.
That's passing between the Earth and the Moon. The moon is 238,000 miles from us.
Wow.
That's a really, really close call.
Fascinates me that they can see the dust rings around certain stars and planets, but we missed this?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And we're talking about the one that they just saw was it 1 billion light years, 2 billion light years away? But they couldn't find this that was coming 46,000 miles away from the Earth. And so the other problem is, as we have that happy news, that it passed us by yesterday and we found out about it yesterday.
Happy news.
And it is happy news.
Thank you.
Yes. But there's another one coming that we have seen, and it's, I believe it was 7 miles across. Now that one is a planet killer.
Yeah.
And they expect it to pass by, hopefully, on September 5th, but there's a 1 in 7,000 chance it could hit the Earth.
That's it, though.
So I'm thinking maybe we kick in our Armageddon team back into gear, get them out there on a shuttle, and start drilling.
That would be nice.
I feel like it's time to run up my credit cards. Is what I feel like. 1 in 7,000. I mean,
that's a
you can
pretty
always
good
return
chance.
the stuff after, right?
So what you're saying is this weekend, if given the opportunity to eat dessert,
Yes.
just eat the dessert.
Eat the dessert.
Wait, that's good news.
Yes.
Do you want to comment on that?
That's good news. I think that's good advice every week.
Also, given the opportunity to vacation somewhere else in the solar system for the next 2 months, do it.
That might not be a
Do
bad
that as
idea.
well. Yeah.
So if this thing hits us, it's just it's regional problems. The one that just missed us.
The one that just
Just
missed
us,
yes.
yeah. But the one that's coming in September.
The one that's coming could destroy the Earth. So
like-
we're hoping that doesn't happen.
So like the one that just missed us like a human, and then the one that's gonna hit us was like Jeffy sized. Like if you were gonna say in perspective.
well, I mean, I don't want to exaggerate.
Okay.
It's only 7 miles across. Okay. So I don't want to get ridiculous.
Well, thank you for letting us know that we are all safe.
Yes.
That we can enjoy our weekend and eat our dessert too. We're going to go to break and we'll be back in just a little bit to talk more about food with Jeffy.
I mean, it's not my fault. He's the one bringing the lunch story to the table.
I'm actually Hey, welcome back to the show. Before we dive into our next story about lunch, we want to thank our sponsor, Genesis 950. And Stu, this is something I've really struggled with because I have 2 pets and they have ruined a lot of carpets.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're thinking about replacing your carpet because you have nasty stains on it, like if you've dropped your entire lunch. I keep thinking of Kevin in The Office when he drops the entire giant jug of chili. If that happens on your floor, you need Genesis 950. Genesis 950 is a cleaner. I mean, it gets pretty much everything out, right, Pat? You've
it does.
had this.
I have not just pets, but also grandchildren, and so our house is decimated by stains. And we tried everything. In fact, we had carpet cleaners come over, didn't get it out. We tried other carpet cleaning agents, didn't get it out. Then we tried this, and it was amazing. It took it right up.
That's awesome. Genesis 950, not just for pet stains. Its antibacterial component can be used to clean your entire house, bathrooms, kitchens, countertops, granite, quartz. I'm loaded up with quartz. I've got quartz all over my house.
Do you?
My floors are quartz. My driveway is quartz.
Are they stained?
We just
stained
quartz. We do have a lot of stained quartz. We
Yeah.
just replaced our lawn with quartz this year.
Wow.
And this works great on the
I
quartz.
bet that's very attractive.
Also, garage floors, oil and grease stains. Those I get all the time in the garage. Wheels, tools, upholstery, everything.
Got a lot of tool issues.
Yes, I mean, look, I'm a man. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm building. I'm like,
And a handyman.
I'm a handyman with those tools. The thing with the hard thing at the end that you hit nails with.
Right,
What is
right.
that?
Like a
Heme?
handle thing.
Heme? I think it's French.
Yeah.
Before you purchase a new carpet, try Genesis 950. Available on Amazon, but order a gallon direct at genesis.com. Promo code Blaze, you're going to receive a discount and a free spray bottle. Genesis950.com. By the way, one gallon of the industrial strength Genesis 950 can make up to 7 gallons of cleaner. So this is going to last you for a long time.
Awesome. That's amazing. All right, so we're going to talk about lunch now, but not just lunch debt.
Lunch debt. You're right. There's a school in Pennsylvania that is having a problem with their parents paying for their children's lunch. About a little over $22,000 worth of payment due to the school. And the school finally sent a letter to the parents saying, hey, pay the bills or we're going to send you to the collection world. And you know what? There's a possibility that your kids could get taken away too. Because if you go into the CPS or whatever the Children Protection Services is called in Pennsylvania, they could come and you could lose your kids. Okay. There was a CEO. Mr. Carmichael, coffee company CEO, said, we can't have that. I'll pay for it. And he called the school president, Joseph Mazur, I believe his name is, and said, look, stop this. I'll pay the $22,000. I don't want these parents to have to worry about the debt. I don't want the kids to not have lunches.
Cool.
I'll pay it. Right.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's charity. That's capitalism at work.
And Joe said no. I'm not going to take your money. It's more important that these parents learn their lesson, and I want this bill paid. And I want them to pay it. Okay? So have a nice day.
That is a strange stance.
And the guy said, one of the things the superintendent or principal or whatever he is, one of the things he said was, these parents could afford it. And Todd Carmichael, the CEO, said, well, regardless of whether they can afford it, I just want to take care of it so they don't have to worry about it.
And he didn't believe, and he gave some numbers also that kind of went against what the superintendent said.
And he just said no
students.
and hung up the phone.
Just said no, we're not doing it. I want these parents to take care of it. And of course, then we get word from Bernie Sanders that falls right into his purview, right? I mean, that's right. When he's president, all lunches are going to be paid for. All food will be paid for.
Everything's going to be paid for.
Yeah, I mean that's how good it's going to be.
It's going to be great.
And my understanding on the Sanders position, which I thought was fascinating, was not just that he was going to give kids at school free lunch. He was literally also going to open up the schools in the summers when they're not in session and also give
Well, you
them
have
free
to do
lunch.
that, Stu. Don't be silly.
And it seems like
Otherwise, where are they going to eat?
Yeah.
Where are they going to eat?
Well,
I mean, do you think they have food at home?
eat.
No.
No.
There's
You have to, the government, so this is, we always used to say this, they want government housing, they want government schools. What about government food? I mean, isn't that more important? Well, now government food is here, finally. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, because that is what it says. We are going to provide year-round free universal school meals. Year-round, it's at least he seems to indicate that, you're coming in on Sunday and eating lunch at school.
Yeah.
So the story broke and it's a big deal, and he said no, and he wants the parents to pay. Well, he caved. He's now caved. And said, you know what? I've rethought.
I bet
it's
he
a
did.
PR nightmare.
You know what?
Yes.
Look, if you want to give me the $22,000, sure. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you for helping the school and the students.
That is a
and
weird
the parents.
stance, I will
Isn't
say.
it?
Like, I
Very
mean,
bizarre.
pushing back against someone trying to do something nice. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, that's
bizarre.
a weird thing to,
Really
to get
weird.
mad at.
Really weird. And the
oh,
heat
look,
that he took for it.
I will say that. Let's just say this is in a very wealthy community. I don't think it is, but let's just say it is. And the parents are like legitimately not paying because even though they have the money, I can understand the superintendent being like, this is
It's
not
frustrating, right?
like,
I mean, the bill has to be paid.
pay it for the people who really need it to be paid. But these, we have parents making $150,000 that aren't paying their school lunch bills. It's ridiculous. And I think like that, I can understand maybe that's the stance he was taking, but I don't know why you'd care. Like if you're a school superintendent, just give us give you the money.
Yeah, well, you would think that would encourage other people to get involved and donate where there's areas of need too, like donate some books or school supplies or whatever it is. But if you're turning away a $22,000 donation, and I read that CEO, he had gotten a free school lunch as a kid too on occasion because after his dad passed away, it sounded like he and his mom had to rely on free school lunches, and so he just kind of wanted to pay it forward.
He knew how hard it was. He didn't want the
Right.
parents and the kids to worry about it. Here, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. No. Thanks for calling.
Put your money away. Yeah. All right, so I guess the lesson that we've learned here is if you're going to make a donation, be prepared for it to be turned down. Have a list of charities you'd like to give to. All right, well, we're going to go to break, but when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit more about what's coming up in overtime. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We had some pretty funny moments on Glenn's show this morning.
Yeah, funny.
Racist-versary.
The racist-versary was today. Yeah, it's actually Sunday. It marks the 10-year anniversary of Glenn going on Fox News, as I mentioned. And it kind of was like, first of all, he didn't know it was coming. We sprung it on him, which is a risk, as Pat would tell you.
Very much so. Does not like on-air surprises.
He does not. But I figured this was a good one. And that's usually the last words of many producers over the years. But he did seem to like this one today. And I think the reason why I thought it was important to do is not just because, part of it was just to mock Glenn and have cake. But other than that, it was to point out, really, the hypocrisy of our country.
Unbelievable.
The fact that they've dragged this guy through a torture chamber for a decade over this throwaway comment that he made. And then now every single commentator, writer, columnist, journalist is calling the president racist outwardly.
Secondhand nature to him now.
Yeah, now it's okay. And it's like a lot of the comments back then, not all of them, but a lot of them back then were based on, look, obviously I don't think Barack Obama's a racist, but you don't call any president a racist. You don't call any president a racist.
That's out the window.
That's out the window. And you can certainly obviously disagree. You might think that Barack Obama's not a racist and Donald Trump is. That's a perfectly fine opinion. It's not journalism because you're guessing at his intent. But you want to say that, that's fine.
I will put up the comment of Barack Obama that led us to believe that there were racist tendencies in him against any comment by Donald Trump and compare the racism of a typical white person who has a frightened reaction to black people bred into her. It doesn't get any. That's the epitome of racism.
And we played. I don't know if you heard in hour 3. Go back to listen to the podcast of the radio show today. In hour 3, we played back Glenn's explanation on radio the next day or the day after. And it's amazing. We went back and said, if you don't think this, turn that phrase around.
Right.
What if I came on the radio today and said a typical black person has a negative trait bred into them?
Just the typical black person would be enough to have you off the show.
You'd be off the show. Yeah. And so, as Glenn pointed out, we're talking about the way the media defines racism. I don't know how. The only way you can excuse Barack Obama in that time period is to say that a black person can't be racist. You have to just exonerate the entire race, which is again that's racist. You're the one making judgments based on skin color. Right. What do you think affirmative action is? That's what it is. You're giving benefits to one side over the other.
You pulled off an awesome surprise this morning. So if people want to see it, you've got to go back and watch it. It turned out great. Follow us over at Overtime, BlazeTV.com. We're going to be trying some Steak Reaper Ranch Fries Supreme.
Oh,
yes!